Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Today's video is going to be a requested video. I went onto Twitter and Instagram and I asked you guys what it is that you're struggling with the most in your beauty routines. It could have been in skincare or in your makeup application. And a resounding topic that came forward was the inability to blend out eyeshadow. So this is a point of difficulty for a lot of people, it seems, and also how to apply false lashes. There are a few other topics with regards to skincare and foundation application that also came through, so I'll be tackling those other two topics over the next couple of weeks. But today we're going to focus on how to blend out eyeshadow and how to apply false lashes. So if you're interested in this, stay tuned. So when it comes to eyeshadow application, we want to focus on two things: the tools that we use and the technique that we use to blend out our eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is one of those things that you just have to be patient with. It's 90% blending and 10% actually putting the product onto your eyelid. If you don't blend out properly, if you don't have that patience to blend out properly, you're probably going to see that your eyeshadow doesn't look like the girl sitting next to you, because you really need to just master the technique of blending, and just make sure you do it thoroughly and precisely. So in order for you to blend your eyeshadow out effectively, what comes into play then is the type of tools that you use. There are so many different makeup brushes on the market that it's difficult to sort of decipher which ones you actually need. It helps to have quite a few of the same kind so that you can just, use one and then for one color and then use another for a different color. That makes life easier for a lot of people. And the first place I purchased my eyeshadow brushes were from MORPHE. So there is MORPHE brushes in South Africa which can be purchased through some of these vendors. So I got mine from Muse Beauty South Africa. They have their own Instagram page, and I got a MORPHE brush kit which had some a contour brush, a highlighting brush, and just eye detailing brushes, which were really amazing. It was these ones that came in the brush kit. It just gave me a jump start in basically having the brushes that I need to do the majority of the eyeshadow work that I would do on a daily basis. Then there's the Holy Grail blending brush, which everyone has, which is from MAC, and it's the 217S brush. And you'll see that a lot of brands like Morphe have replicated this brush just to give you like an affordable version. So you sort of just want like a tapered brush that will be easy to blend out your crease. And this here, I've got one from Real Techniques, I've got one from Morphe, and then we've got the MAC one in the middle. What I like to do when I work with eyeshadow is I like to prime my eyelid. So you can either use a legit primer. I have one from Urban Decay, which is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Or you can go ahead and use the concealer that you normally use. Mine is the LA Pro Go concealer. I'm going to use this one today. We want to neutralize the lid area. Number one, because we have pigmentation on our lids. My lids are a little bit darker than the rest of my face. Some people, you have some veins that you can see through. Some people really have dark pigmentation around the eyes. So a concealer or a eyeshadow primer helps to neutralize that area, and we just want to blend this out. And you want to take that all the way to the brow bone. We want to create a even canvas for the eye, so that each eyeshadow that we use in today's look has the ability to peek through and show itself. So after that is done, after we have neutralized our surface area, we're going to set the concealer, because we don't want it to crease, because it is a cream product. I just take any loose translucent powder and I just go over my entire eye area all the way up to my brow bone where I took the concealer, and I set it in place. The benefit of doing your eyeshadow before you do foundation is just that in case you have any fallout or you make any mistakes, it's easier for you to clean it up, as opposed to you having had done your full face of foundation and then you make a mistake, it's a bit more harder to work around having a full face already done. So I have brought with me 2 eyeshadow palettes I want to use today. I have the Naked Petite Heat palette and the Smashbox Cover Shot Ablaze palette. I've chosen these 2 palettes because I find that they are ideal for beginners. If you are using that eyeshadow for the first time and you're very overwhelmed with these eyeshadow palettes that have 12 to 15 shades in one palette, can be a bit overwhelming, and you don't know, and sometimes you don't know where to start. So I find these 2 palettes so ideal when I'm traveling, and I have also chosen them because they're the easiest in terms of blending. So these are warm palettes. I find that warm palettes are the best on most, if not all, skin tones. They are always flattering and they are very easy to work around and blend out just because they are within the same color family. So we have these rich browns and oranges that fade into these like nudes, which I think are so beautiful that you can deepen up your eye look and take it into your brow bone. The Smashbox Cover Shot Ablaze palette is a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more pigmented. It has a few shimmery shades in there as well, and there's the ability for you to really deepen that eye look and create a nighttime look as well. I'm gonna do 2 looks. I'm gonna do a day look and a night look, and then I'll do my lashes, my lash application right at the end. So I'm gonna start off with the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat palette. This just launched in South Africa. I believe it's around 530 Rand on urbandecay.co.za. It's also quite accessible and available to everyone anywhere in the country. I'm going to start off with a tapered blending brush from Morphe. I'm going to start off with this shadow color called Hot Spell. So it might not appear as significantly on my lid, but this is just where we're going to start. You don't want to hold your makeup brush too close to the front of it. You want to take your thumb, your middle finger and your index finger and just control it at the end of the brush, just so that the application and your application isn't too heavy, and this way you can build up product easier. You want to take your eyeshadow all the way out as well. You don't have to stress about anything messing up, because this is why we've done our eyeshadow first, so that we can clean up the ends here. And I like to take mine in slightly as well. So I have placed this on my crease and just above my crease, because I want this shade to peek through as we continue to build color. Another rule of thumb when working with eyeshadow is that you want to go from the lightest color to the darkest color. So this is why we have started with the shade called Hot Spell. You don't want to mix this eyeshadow brush with any other colors, because we're going to use this to do all of our blending for all of our work later on. The next color we're going to use from our Naked Heat palette is called Wild Thing, and it's this burnt orange here. We're going to focus this color on our crease. We're gonna take our blending brush and just dip back into Hot Spell just to make sure it's still peeking through. Our next color we're gonna go into is this shade called Heist, which is this one here. Can you see why I love this palette? It's so easy to work because it just tells you that you're going down the line of intensity. And we are going to continue in a similar fashion and just intensify our crease. Our next shade we're gonna go in with is called Heist, which is this deep brown here. Sorry, that's called Strike. This beige shade here is called Vibrate, and I'm gonna pat that on my lid. So I feel like that's a very simple eyeshadow look. which is quite natural and pretty much everyone can do. It's what I sort of gravitate towards too when I have like a meeting or something and I just want to look like I've tried. I do want to intensify this look a little bit more, and this is when I go into my Smashbox Ablaze palette. And I'm going to go back in with my Real Techniques brush. It doesn't have to be clean because I'm going in with a deeper shade here, which is a pretty dark brown. And I'm going to smoke out my eye, my crease a lot more. I'm gonna go back in with my brush that I used with my transition shade, which was Hot Spell, and I'm just gonna blend this out at the top. I'm gonna do a miniature cut crease, but I'm just going back in with my concealer because we are turning this into an evening look. I'm taking a flat synthetic brush and I'm just gonna carve out at the start of my eye. I just want my gold eyeshadow to pop that I'm gonna use now. And I'm gonna take this gold shade in my Smashbox palette and apply that where we have put the concealer. I'm then gonna take Dark Horse and just blend out the... So this is our evening time eye. Remember that with every eyeshadow look, what you do at the top you should do at the bottom. So with my daytime look, I didn't do that because I still had my foundation not done. So what I'm going to do is do my foundation, come back, and then show you guys how I complete the entire eye look. Okay, so I am in the middle of baking. I've basically bronzed and done everything else. So I like to continue with the bottom lids while my bake is still on, just so that I can deal with fallout in case it happens. Because my eye look is a little bit more dramatic now, I'm gonna stick with my Smashbox palette because the colors are a little bit more pigmented. I'm gonna take a more precise shadow brush, precision brush, and I'm gonna start off with a shade called Throwback, and I'm focusing this on my lower lids. I'm gonna go in with the shade, the brush that I used for my transition shade, and just blend out the bottom. I'm going to take an even more precise brush and go in with Dark Horse, which is that deep brown, and smoke out the lower lash line and really focus it at the corner and then let it fade into the inner corner. At this point, I'm going to dust away my bake. To set everything, I'm going to be using the new MAC Fix Plus Matte Spray. So while my MAC Fix Plus dries, I'm going to start by applying glue onto my lashes. So the glue that I like to use is the Duo Lash Adhesive. This is my only glue that I use for my eyelashes. Back in the day, I used to buy the Eyelower eyelashes and I used to use a glue inside there. My eyelashes wouldn't last past 12 noon and it was just a very useless glue. So I had been looking for the Duo Lash glue everywhere and I found it, and they sell this at MAC. The easiest way for me to apply lashes is to use tweezers, and I just take my lashes and I dip them into the glue. Now the lashes I use vary from time to time, but for this video I'm using the Eyelower 117 lashes. I buy 2 packets and I stack them together to give me a more dramatic look, but I think it's still quite natural in theory. While my lashes get tacky, for this look I want to do a winged eye, because I find that when you do a winged eye it becomes a little bit more easier for you to attach your eyelashes. You stress less about getting as close to your lash line as possible. So I'm taking a black eyeliner. I'm using this one from Dior. If you see some white dots on my face, it's to do with that MAC Fix Plus spray. I just don't understand what's happening. I'm gonna fix it just now. Hopefully my Urban Decay can sort it out. I just need to do my eyes quickly. For mascara, I'm using the Dior Pump and Volume mascara. We do mascara so that our natural lashes can blend in easier with the falsies. Okay, I just pressed my face again. So to apply your falsies, you need to wait for the glue to become a little bit tacky. So tacky means that it's like sticky like this, but not dry, so that it can adhere to your lash line properly. So we put a liquid liner because I feel like this always helps you with your lashes. You don't have to stress as much as getting it as really close to your lash line as possible. If you do mess up and just have it a little bit higher, it's fine, because the black liner sort of hides any error. I start with at the center of the lashes, let it settle and sort of like stick. I then tackle the edges, the ends, and then I tackle the front. I'm gonna go back into my Smashbox palette. I'm gonna go in with the shade Moccasin. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I feel like getting this look together sort of had me a little bit stressed out. This MAC Matte Fix Plus, I hadn't shaken it properly, so it had these white dots of powder on my face, so I had to drench my face in some Urban Decay. But either way, this is the finished look when it comes to my eyeshadow and my tips and tricks on how to blend out yours. I feel like these palettes are so great for the everyday person, and you don't need more than this if you are just trying to start out with the whole makeup bit and, you know, just getting your foot in the door when it comes to eyeshadow work. Practice makes perfect, and investing in these two shadow palettes I think is a good way to start. Very pigmented and just great for learning basically, and traveling as well, and having them in your handbag in case you want to intensify your look later on in the day. That's it guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Like I said, I'll be tackling more of your questions when it comes to your beauty routines in the upcoming weeks, so make sure you stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.